Hey, we don't own any of this shit. Squad.
Oh, you thought I was done? Last episode, we looked at how one component of war, colonization, affects community leaders and their decision-making process. This time we'll be looking at how war at large affects communities and the people within them. I'll be talking about things up to My Little Pony's 5th season finale. So if you're behind on the show and don't want to get spoiled, close the video and get on that shit. Now let's get in this hole right now. The 4th season of My Little Pony ended with a furious Twilight Sparkle squabbing with the demon from hell, Tyrek. The battle was outrageous and completely out of the norm for the series, but it wasn't for pure spectacle. In the aftermath of the Dragon Ball Z inspired duel, Twilight's home is left in splinters. It's a moment that literally hurts to watch. After all, I'd found out I was losing my home to a mortgage around the same time this episode aired. While the squad eventually defeats Tyrek and Twilight gets an extra shiny castle in the end, the loss of the home you've spent dozens of hours in as a viewer hurts. In season 5's excellent episode, Castle Sweet Castle, Twilight is having trouble adjusting to her cold new home. After going on a spa trip to relieve stress, she and Spike walk by their old house and cry over their loss. It's a powerful moment that I'm sure anyone who's lost a home can relate to. And it's only the beginning of the heartbreak that awaits Twilight. In season 5's premiere episode, the Cutie Map, Starlight Glimmer is introduced. While Tyrek was a physically dominating threat, Starlight challenges Twilight on a philosophical level. She believes every pony should be equal, so she uses her powers to strip ponies of their talents, then hides herself among them. She is quite similar to Amon from The Legend of Korra, though while she doesn't have his terrifying presence, she makes up for it in subtlety and menacing smarts. Although Starlight's intentions are good, all her terrifying utopia does is create crippled individuals. When Amon is exposed, he runs like a wimp, but when Starlight is exposed, she makes a violent stand for her beliefs, helped along by experienced voice actor Kelly Sheridan.
My magic that makes all this possible. You'd all still be living your miserable lives thinking you're better than every pony else. I brought you friendship. I brought you equality. I created harmony!
The squad still whoops her ass and sends her running though. Season 5 continues on without a hitch. In one of the series' best episodes, Amending Fences, Twilight learns that her childhood friend Moondancer, briefly mentioned in the pilot episode, developed depression after Twilight skipped out on her party and vanished from her life thereafterwards, only now coming back into contact with her years later. Seeing her childhood friend become socially crippled because of her actions hurts Twilight to her core. But this ordeal teaches Twilight that the smallest of actions can have devastating effects on other people's lives. No one person can ever know what it's like to be another person. How one person views a situation doesn't necessarily mean another person will view it in the same way, as each individual's persona is nothing more than a complex mix-mash of biology and circumstance. This important empathy lesson comes in the clutch in the season 5 finale, The Cutie Remark. What a stupid fucking name. The opening scene has Twilight teaching a class, reminiscing on the moment when her friend Rainbow Dash broke the sound barrier as a child, thus creating a beautiful rainbow. This moment was crucial to the squad's development as growing individuals, and ultimately brought them together to become friends for life. Starlight is lurking in the audience during the speech, but when Twilight notices her, she gets the fuck out of there, yo. Twilight is tripping afterwards cause she knows she saw Starlight, but can't exactly prove it. Just the thought of Starlight coming back terrifies her, and it's great to see a hero who doesn't feel the need to hide her emotions behind needless bravado. When Spike tries to reassure her, Twilight says she doesn't know what she saw, but she knows that with her friends, everything will be lit. What she doesn't know is that this upcoming adventure involves their downfall. When Twilight gets back to her crib, she finds Starlight there straight chilling. She immediately opens up a portal in space and time while Twilight and Spike are sitting there like, the fuck? The duo accidentally follow her, then find out they've escaped to the past, the same day that Rainbow Dash performed that sonic rainboom and brought the squad together. Before they even know it, Starlight has stopped the rainbow from happening, then zaps the duo into a hellish alternate future. Alright. This is where shit goes down. When they arrive, they immediately know something's up. Twilight's castle is non-existent in this feature, so they head to Ponyville to investigate. The normally welcome townsfolk aren't so welcome here, and the squad's respective homes are vacant. They head to Sweet Apple Acres as a last resort, the first place Twilight visited in Ponyville in the pilot episode. A place they are sure would never change. They couldn't be more wrong. In this hellish future, King Sombra, who was defeated by my little nigga Spike in Season 3's premiere, has risen to power. As a potential consequence for Spike not being born in this timeline, Sombra forces his citizens, the Crystal Ponies, to fight for him, so he can conquer Equestria. As a result of his devilish ambitions, this peaceful, fantastical world is torn apart. In the Season 2 episode, The Super Speedy Cider Squeezer 6000, Applejack is potentially going to lose the farm to an industrialized machine that's taken away her customers. Even in the face of losing her late parents' life's work, she refuses to compensate quality for quantity. And this new timeline, Applejack is forced to do just that on the regular. With Equestria civilians having no choice but to fight against Sombra, there are too many hungry soldiers. How can one provide a home-cooked meal to all of them? Applejack's home, once a natural farmhouse, now produces smog so thick the sky is black. Machines pump out the food, and one can only imagine the preservatives that Apples put in those cans. They even have to wear a gas mask in their own home. Shouts out to Ashley Ball, whose superb acting skills really sold this sequence. Now the war doesn't just affect Applejack. It hits the other members of the main cast alongside every other civilian. Fluttershy, a sensitive animal lover and caretaker, now exploits their bodies for resources. Rarity, an artist who loves to make personal clothes that brings out her fellow ponies' inner beauty, is forced to crank out generic mass-produced uniforms. Rainbow Dash, a talented athlete with the dreams of joining the world's most talented flyers, is now a one-winged cripple battling in this war. Pinkie Pie, whose life goal was to get other ponies to smile, now fights others who are enslaved under a vicious dictator and forced to fight. This episode showed a possible reality that was entirely too real, and it really brought home how normally idealistic this show's nature truly is. When Twilight realizes she can use the map to time travel back to before Starlight stopped the rain boom, she dips. But the moment she arrives in the past, Starlight zaps her and reveals that she knew Twilight would go back in time to try and stop her from stopping the rain boom in the first place. Every time Twilight goes back in time to ensure the rain boom happens, Starlight goes back to make sure it doesn't, thereby trapping them in a never-ending time loop. I remember watching this and thinking, damn Starlight, why don't you just kill her, fam? This nightmare scenario is injected with a great bit of humor to keep things family friendly. When Twilight and Spike are sinking through the clouds, Starlight keeps monologuing about getting her revenge, not even noticing when they fall through. William Anderson, the show's background music producer, punctuates this hilarious moment with a whimsical tune. And when Starlight's hateful monologue continues on as if nothing happened, he brings in some haunting brass instruments to close the scene out. Damn, I love this show!
Superior. It was a special place, and you and your friends took it away. Now it's my turn to take something special from you!
Starlight stops the rain boom again and again, and each time Twilight tries to stop her, either with talking or with violence, she fails. Every failure is met with another hellish future, each one getting progressively worse. It is only when Twilight grabs Starlight and shows her the result of her rage that things finally start to change.
And what you're doing leads here. I know I can't stop you, but I thought showing you this might change your mind.
Twilight says that she'd hoped Starlight seeing this desolate landscape would make her change her mind about revenge. But Starlight claims that Twilight doesn't know anything about her and sends them back in time, back to when Starlight became the pony she is today. So what is Starlight's supposed tragic backstory? A simple case of separation trauma. When she was a kid, her best friend moved away after his magic potential was realized. Sometimes, life takes your homies in different directions, but Starlight refuses to accept that, going so far as to create a utopia where every pony is equal. A world where no one will ever leave her again. Twilight's initial response to Starlight's supposed tragic backstory is this.
That's ridiculous.
And she's kind of right. Starlight did verbally brainwash people and strip them of their talents. But at the same time, would a villain really consider themselves a villain if they truly believed what they were doing was right? Starlight vows to rip up the time-traveling spell and trap them in a hellish future for eternity. But this is when that lesson from amending fences comes in for Twilight. She now knows that no one person can ever know what it's like to be another person. So she's able to empathize with Starlight and convince her to stand down. Moondancer and Starlight represent two different paths Twilight could have went down. Had Twilight never met her friends, she might have become as reserved and studious as Moondancer. If Twilight's brother abandoned her thanks to him getting his cutie mark, she might have become as traumatized as Starlight. Meanwhile, T-Rex and Starlight represent two types of people you encounter in war. Those that can be reasoned with, and those that can't. T-Rex wanted the world to burn under his feet and his feet alone, and any attempts to earn his favor was met with betrayal.
Any use to me.
Starlight's evil stems from her desire to hide from loneliness by creating a society that eliminates conflict. When her false utopia is destroyed, she develops an obsession with revenge to continue hiding from that loneliness. But when she sees the effect her hatred leaves the world, she realizes she has to open up her heart again. Twilight and the squad is more than willing to give Starlight a second chance, but they don't hesitate to send T-Rex to rot in hell. That was My Little Pony and the Horrors of War. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you know that without a doubt now, My Little Pony is on a different level. Now before we close out, I wanted to pimp out my upcoming novel, Nina and Minerva. It's a tale about two women who fall in love after an alien invasion. Check out the Facebook page for an extended synopsis and excerpts. Anyway, we've got one final episode coming in the This Ain't Just for Kids War trilogy. Can you guess the cartoon? Winner gets nothing, so go out there and comment to your heart's content. Also, y'all know the drill. Like, share, and subscribe. Catch you later, fam.